Hey man, what it do, YouTube? It's your boy OTM. Drop back in this bit for another YouTube video, and I know what y'all thinking. Y'all probably like, who the hell is this nigga on my screen right now? Yes, I know. I have been gone. I am a little bit under the weather. I got sick again. I know. I just came back from Florida about 2 weeks ago. A lot of traveling. I think that's where I fucked up at. It ain't gonna be nothing holding us back. Though, these last couple of days, chat, I've been feeling fucked up. I felt like I had COVID again. That shit felt like COVID. My dog Tyler did get on the phone with me, told me, hey, fuck that, still gotta drop. Come on. I'm picking up the camera, we back locked in. No matter how I'm feeling, how we doing, we getting this shit done. Today's reaction video is titled The End of David. Now, I ain't gonna lie, Chad, I have not been keeping up with the David situation due to the fact I've been under the weather. But recently I heard the nigga got locked up about goddamn time. You know, my boy Sevi, if y'all don't know him, he's pretty quick, straight to the point, very informational. Check out his channel. I always come to his channel for information that I'm not knowing on what's going on in any type of topic. He covers almost all news. So shout out that boy Sevi. Dead homies. Let's get this thing rocking. Let's see what the fuck this nigga David did. Straight up.
Watch this. I wonder if they get the message. I ain't going broke. Ran up down 300 racks at that corner store. You could catch me in the hood where you wouldn't want to go, or down south asking niggas what they get the
problem. This upcoming trial is not looking good for him. For starters, the police have 40 terabytes of evidence against him.
Me blood clot, 40 terabytes. Yo, that's a lot of evidence, bruh.
That evidence, prosecutors say David had a significant amount of, listen closely, youth corn on his phone. If you don't know what that means, look in the comments.
And Miras, peer picnic upon the boy phone.
This is why I say David had a problem, because forget the trial for a second. The stuff that David had on his phone can already put him in jail for decades. And I don't know how David's lawyer can swing that. The prosecutor said, we found it on David's phone. So at that point, there's not much speculation you could do there. David had this stuff on his phone. So David's lawyer is probably gonna look at David and be like, look, I mean, I'm gonna try.
That boy have to take a deal.
I had to get you off the charge, but that other stuff ain't looking good. Because remember, David's got another charge for being with someone of an age that he had no business being with someone that. If you didn't know Celeste Rivas's age, then look in the comments. So there's so much evidence that he was with her. David's lawyer probably finna look at David and be like, bro, what you want me to do about that? You might have to take that charge to the chin, and that ain't no light charge. So David's probably realizing right here in this picture what I want you to understand in this video, that even without the charge, David could still face decades upon decades in prison just off all the stuff involving him and the youth stuff. That
I ain't gonna lie, chat, that's crazy. So not only he's dealing with that situation with the first shorty that he murked allegedly, he got more jits on his phone, cuz. This nigga's wild, cuz. What the fuck?
Police have a lot of evidence. But here's where things start to get wicked, because one of the most important pieces of this case actually might be people who are witnesses to this event. And when I say witnesses, I mean witnesses in any capacity. That's going to make sense in a moment. You see, David's got managers, many people who work for him that might have known about his relationship with Celeste. That's a problem for them. In fact, David's manager came out and said a while back, he said, look, I don't know nothing about this. All right, y'all got to leave me alone on the internet. Y'all be making stuff up. There's an email of me out there, someone saying that I knew about David's relationship. That's cap. Well, that email got leaked. So it says there's been talk that the artist David possibly has something to do with the disappearance of Celeste Rivas. If that statement holds any merit, please do the right thing and take her home. Her parents are very worried. This is somebody sending this to David's manager. Listen to this.
They're using all of that in court. They're bringing that shit to trial. Like all of that email shit, they're bringing that shit for sure to trial. Whoever sent that email to his manager for sure will be there the day of the trial and will fuck around and take the stand.
Next part closely. Allegedly, apparently, David's manager took a screenshot of this, sent it to David. David then sent this picture to one of Celeste's friends. The next day, Celeste gets sent home. Now, this is speculation, but what makes sense in the situation is somebody sends this to David's manager. David's manager goes, hey, yo, rushes over to David and says, yo, what is this? You got to take that girl and send her home. David sends the message to one of Celeste's friends saying, look, why y'all snitching? Manager probably said, I don't care about snitch here. I don't care about snitch there. This is going to jeopardize your career, David. It's going to mess with my money too. So send that girl home. David probably sent her home. Now remember, I said David sent this screenshot, this email to one of Celeste's friends. So that's probably the person that leaked this out saying, oh, David's manager over here capping, David's manager lying, like he never got an email. Well, I have the screenshot of the email, so I'm gonna send it out. Police probably looked at this email, they said, huh, would you look at that? David's manager most likely knew about David's situation with Celeste. That's illegal, but more importantly, that's a witness to the events. So they can go over to David's manager and get information from him. How do you get information from somebody? You say, hey, look, I got you doing something illegal over here. Why don't you tell me everything you know, or you go to jail? Now, nobody knows exactly what David's manager knows, except most likely the police. But let me mention this next.
His manager sounding like he's going to be overly cooked too, chat.
Part to you. The day of Celeste getting, David had an album release party. It was the day of or the next day. So his managers were in his house. And remember, police say that David lured Celeste to his house saying, hey, come over. I need to talk to you about something. So she was around his house. The managers were around his house, meaning managers probably were there while Celeste was there. That doesn't mean they saw her getting, but it means they might have information. And if David's managers have any information, you know they giving it to police ASAP. They finna snitch. They don't want to be associated with David at all at this point, I'm sure. On top of all of this, yes, there's more. They wiretapped David, meaning they recorded David while he's probably snitching on himself. If it's in the evidence, that means it's relevant to the case. He was saying something that they got him. Ooh, he's in trouble. And this isn't all the evidence. This is just basically a sprinkle of what the prosecutors were giving out. But let me be clear that the prosecutors are supposed to big up themselves. They're supposed to make it look like David has no chance. And from what they said, I mean, it really looks like David has no chance.
I ain't gonna lie, Jit Ben ain't never had no chance. I ain't gonna lie. From day one, like, niggas was on his ass. Like, them receipts was already checking out before feds was even on it. Cause from even in the music.
The defense attorney would be like, yeah, he said, I love you to his little sister too. Like, what that mean? So it is still going to come down to how skilled David's attorney is and how skilled the prosecutor is. But with the evidence,
boy, I ain't gonna lie, he gave his attorney the hardest job in the world, cause the amount of evidence they have on Jit, cause his ass.
Let's just say it looks like the prosecutor has an AK and David's attorney has a pistol. Now, as for how Celeste was, she was poked with something really sharp, a sharp object 2 times. And really, we don't need to go into detail. That's all that really needs to be said about that. It truly depends on the situation. This isn't to defend Celeste's parents, because I genuinely don't know what they might have known.
Exactly. We don't know
I'm
the
thinking
full
about
story.
this is because I try to put myself in their shoes and think, what can you do in this situation for real, for real? Like, if your daughter's like, all right, I'm gone and I'm not coming back. Like, I can't, like, handcuff her to the bed. Like, I could ground her, I guess.
I ain't gonna lie. See, now, this is where American and Caribbean parents are totally different. You tell your parents that, nigga, you'll ask for to die before you get out that front door. You'll ask for to die. Niggas are sick. But
when she goes to school, she's gonna leave, like Celeste actually did. Like, before she was supposed to go to school, and then she actually just went to David's place. All right, so it's been a while. So what I can do is file a police report. The parents filed a police report. What are the police gonna say to you? Oh yeah, kids go missing.
See, I ain't gonna lie. She was supposed to be at school, and she going to do something else. Now that's not on the parents. They thought she was at the schoolhouse. That's different. I didn't even know that part. I feel like we should kind of give the parents grace in a way, especially being the fact that they sent her to school and then she snuck off and did something else. So therefore, it technically don't fall back on the parents. Low key. You know what I'm saying? So it just depend. Like I said, it just depend on the situation.
A lot of people, in my opinion, for cases like this, get lost in the sauce. It's understandable because it's an infuriating situation. You get mad. You get everybody who might have a hand in this. You want to take down. I feel it, but right now, and it seems police are thinking the same thing. Charges are not going to be brought up against the parents. They're not even going to look into the parents for now. They've got their eyes and their targets locked onto this man. And again, with all the evidence and charges that seem to be against him, I think it's going to be tough for the prosecutors to fumble this one. And David will probably be going to jail for a couple decades.
Yeah, I'm just going to come out and say it. This nigga David is cooked, guys. Like, this nigga is deep fucking fried. He's deep Oreos. Like, he's deep fried Oreos. Jit is cooked, and anybody that's on his side is cooked. It's going to be a hard time for his attorney team to try and get this nigga any type of liable time. Like, he's cooked. There's too much evidence against the nigga, bro. Like, the nigga is cooked, bro. Comment down below what y'all think about this situation, though. I'm out, y'all. Peace.